Hi, welcome to Verse of the Day. My name is Brandon Hathaway. I preach at the Westside Church of Christ in Owensboro, Kentucky. Today we're in Luke chapter 23. Luke 23, and I'm going to look at verses 40 through 43. Luke 23, verses 40 through 43. Here we're getting to, of course, Jesus' sacrifice, his appearance before Pilate, before Herod, of course, him on the cross. And so, as you get to verse 40, he is already on the cross. He is there hanging between the two thieves. And one thief is mocking him, saying, "Save yourself and us with yourself." And where we're picking up is where the other thief is speaking, here in verse 40. It says, "But the other answered and rebuking him said, Do you not even fear God, since you are under the same sentence and condemnation? And we indeed are suffering justly, for we are receiving what we deserve for our deeds, but this man has done nothing wrong." And he was saying, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And he said to him, "Truly I say to you, today you shall be with me in paradise." And so as we look at these verses, the point I'd like to make this morning as we look at it is, even at the very last moment of our lives, as long as we are still breathing and capable of thinking, we can make our lives right with God. This man was at the end of his life. He was going to die here on the cross. As Jesus, of course, died, we can read further that they came up to break the legs of the two thieves to help them to die faster. And so he was going to die here. And at the very end, he was able to speak to the Lord and ask him again to be remembered, to be forgiven, basically. And Jesus says, "Today you'll be with me in paradise." You know, it's not teaching that we can't be saved without baptism. This is before the baptism for remission of sins takes place, for one. And this is not telling us to wait till the very end, right? You can't sit here and say, "Well, I can continue to live a worldly life until I get old, and then I'll make my life right with God." We never know when our time is up. It can be up in an instant, and therefore we need to make our lives right as soon as possible. But what I'm trying to get through is, if you feel like you don't have enough time, you don't feel like you can make up for all the sin that you have done in your life, here's a man who says he deserved his part on the cross. He was a thief. He had done wrong. He deserved to be there. And yet he was able to be forgiven with some of his last words as he was here on earth. And so no matter where you are in your life, whether you're young, whether you're mid-age, or you're old, you being alive means God has given you the opportunity to seek His forgiveness. And if you have a question of what do I need to do in order to be saved, I ask that you reach out. Be more than happy to help answer those questions as we look to the Word of God. But you always have the opportunity to be saved as long as we're still alive. And so I thank you for joining me today. I hope that you have a blessed day. And if the Lord is willing, I'll talk to you later.